Snickerdoodle. God, you scared me. Oh my gosh, you guys are here for the tour. I completely forgot. Oh, guys, I'm not even in the right dress for a tour. I really wanted to make it special. Can you guys come back another time, or? Okay, you know what? Seeing as that you came all the way out here, I'm gonna give you guys a tour. You like that? You ready for it? Awesome. Let's get cracking. Right now, you guys are here in our main entryway. So I call this the kind of the movie theme style setup room. So you've got everything from Disney to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Tinkerbell, you need a little bit of magic sometimes too when you come in after a hard day of work. Some of my favorite quotes too as well. Walt Disney, all our dreams can come true if we only have the courage to pursue them. One of my personal favorites. If you can dream it, you can do it. Also again, by Walt Disney himself. I'm a huge Minion fan, and as you'll pretty much see throughout the course of the house too. So the home itself I've actually had for about 4 years now in Las Vegas, Nevada. But the coolest thing is that everything you're gonna see isn't something that I just had immediately at the very get-go. These were things that I've collected over years, and I'm talking like 15, 20, since childhood. But you know, the cool thing again about pop culture, there's so many different themes that's going to be going on. It's getting a little toasty and warm, so maybe we'll might change a couple layers going on here too. So, oh my gosh, what do we got? We got Simpsons now. I've got Rocko's Modern Life. What's going on here? But then again, what about let's change it up a little bit more. Who loves Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I do. And again, we got some awesome Minions. You know what? I don't know. Even this is just kind of, I'm not feeling it just yet. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Oh my gosh, it was actually getting really toasty in there. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I got one more. Let's see. Oh, no. Those movie tickets are for personal use only. All right. I think we are ready. Whew. All right, I'm ready. Are you guys ready? All right, let's get to it, guys. Welcome to the crazy, wonderful, wild world and home of Ben Stobber. Hey, I'm right over here. Thanks. So this, guys, is the living entertainment room, and as you can see, it is chock full, wall to wall of pop culture, movies, cartoons, everything you can think of. Now again, as I mentioned before, this is stuff that you don't just, have immediately from day one. This is something that I've been collecting for years and decades. My movie collection, as you see here, used to almost be over 500 movies, and now it's like dwindled down to maybe like a couple hundred or so. But it's got some of my favorite characters, from Goofy, as I'm very much a goofball myself. Huge fan of Star Wars and Disney, so obviously it's kind of a win-win. My karaoke machine, my parents actually gave this to me a couple years back. I love to sing, and so rather than kind of heading out to the bars and drinking and partying, I can have my own party and bar experience here. Minus the beer, maybe root beer or something instead. Oh, and then right over here, got my pride and joy Mame arcade machine. Now this has over 2,000 games on it. So I used to play the classic games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Simpsons, Pac-Man. And this actually I got from one of my best friends, Sean LeBrecq. He owns this video game store called Gamers Paradise that's in Vegas. It's right next to the Pinball Hall of Fame on East Tropicana and Spencer. He's got all kinds of these really cool machines, but this was a really nostalgic piece. Now right up here too as well, it's kind of weird. You almost got Tigger being picked on by Freddy Krueger, but this is the Hellraiser Box from the Lament configuration. Happened to make a trip out to Los Angeles, and one of my good friends, Sarah Thene, had worked with Clive Barker on an internship. So I actually got him to autograph not just one, but 2 sides of the box. I don't know if that was accidental, but that was actually kind of cool. Now the box itself already was autographed by Doug Bradley, who any horror fans out there will know Doug Bradley played Pinhead in the Hellraiser films. So I haven't really dabbled with the box too much because I don't want to unlock its scariness. Now this actually is another really cool nifty movie prop piece, Sauron's glove from Lord of the Rings. So those guys that have seen the Lord of the Rings from J.R. Tolkien, Peter Jackson, this is one of 3,000 pieces that were actually made. It's a really, really cool nifty prop piece I got from LA. As you see, ties into this whole room. From like the books, the coffee table books, there's hardly really even any room to set a cup of coffee down there too as well. The movies and shows and series and things that really kind of connect to me personally. And again, that's the biggest thing about creating a home. I wanted to create a living room, an impression to show exactly who I am and what I love, what kind of cartoons and movies and series, every poster that you even see up above on the ceiling, all over the walls, the characters that are dangling as well. These are all movies that I grew up with, that I really enjoyed. For me though, I think the greatest thing, especially when a person comes into your home, you want to create a lasting impression. You want to create something that, again, that like a theme park, something where you never want to leave. Now this is kind of a little wonky and weird too as well. I used to have an extra couch in this room, but then I figured I really need to kind of work out so I keep my good looks and cool slick figure, and so I ended up getting an elliptical machine, so that way if I feel like watching some Netflix instead of chilling on the couch, I'm going to end up doing some cardio and at least burn a couple 100,000 calories. Now the autographed movie posters I've got here were actually something I found on Amazon. You can get a lot of great stuff on Amazon.com. I would honestly, in first glance at it, thought these were actually authentic autographed images. But no, they're actually replicates. They're duplicates, photocopies if you will, in color. So I ended up thinking that would be a really good place to put them in the house to give it that, again, museum type feel. But I would say again, it's like a fun museum theme park kind of feel. Oh, I want to show you guys the kitchen too as well. That one's really cool. Check it out, come on. Got it. Buongiorno signore e signora, come stai? Molto bene, grazie, prego, arrivederci, ciao. And I think that's about all the Italian I know of. You know, being a concierge has its perks too as well when you learn multiple languages. But I love Italian cuisine, so immediately when I thought of the inspiration of creating a kitchen, which I do some cooking but not a whole heck of a lot, I figured, what's the best thing I could turn it into? There was one movie I saw a while back called Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane, and I've always wanted to go to Italy because of that film. And so immediately I thought, well, I've got some like Italian grapes, so maybe instead of just kind of putting them on the floor or something, I'd actually hang them all up and around. And this curtain was really awesome. I actually found that on Amazon, and the way the light outside illuminates it, rather than getting a brick wall view, if I actually open up the blinds, which I'm not, I'd so much rather be like sitting, eating breakfast or dinner and just looking out at this view. And the painting, this was kind of interesting too. I got this a couple years ago as a Christmas gift. And what I did is I took some flowers and some fake floral, and I actually kind of added it to the image, almost like it's coming out of it. Kind of has an extra in-depth look. I've got sound speakers too as well to be able to play some nice Tuscany music, a romantic journey, because yeah, I'm a romantic type, sure. So as you guys see, there are unlimited vines literally just following the upper areas, the walls, the ceiling, the organic olive oil too. It's a pretty simple, basic kitchen, but you know, again, it's obviously an important part of the home, whether it's you or your girlfriend or wife or kids, if you actually allow them to do some cooking in the kitchen. But again, it's pretty simple, basic stuff. You know, before we go upstairs, there's a restroom down here if you guys want to use it. You look like you might need to go, so let me go ahead and show you guys where that's at. Follow me. Okay, let's see if it's occupied. Hello? Oh, I guess nobody's in there. Oh, Lobster Man, what are you doing on the pot still? Oh gosh, this guy has been on the toilet for years. He's a silly goofball. I actually got him from Craigslist. Him and Crabman from the Cirque du Soleil Ka show. These two were really cool. I really wanted him, but he came with Lobster Man anyway, and I love lobster. Now the fishnets actually were also something that I had for quite some time, and I figured I've got these stuffed animals, so rather than just like keeping them in storage, I ended up actually putting them inside the fishnet to give them a fun, interactive kind of feel. From Cayman Islands when I went to the Caribbean, from the dollar store, or actually even some that make...
You seriously don't remember me?
See, you may remember them, you may not. So I'm gonna give you guys some private time, so I'll be right back. You guys made it from the restroom. I was a little worried. I thought you guys drowned or something there with Lobster Man and Krabby Doo. But right now, we are about to head upstairs. And as you know, with most two-story homes, there's a hallway and a stairway. And so I thought, there's not really much I could do theme-wise, like to a hallway. Every room in this house has a theme. So we already just came from the kitchen, Italian, and the living room, master room, entryway, which is, again, more pop culture movie themes and some games. So I figured, why not create a Stairway of Memories? And so what better way than to go chronologically? So the first part, as you walk up, has pictures and memories from my earlier days when I first moved to Vegas, or with my parents and my grandparents. I took this actually back in my hometown of Pueblo, Colorado, where I grew up. Pueblo West, actually. I was born in Hudson, Wisconsin, and had a younger brother, Matthew, older sister, Sarah, my mom, Nancy, dad, Terry, and that strapping young, goofy, silly man is me. I know it's kind of crazy. He's actually kind of clean-shaven, too. That was from back in high school. That was 18 years ago, which is crazy how time flies. And then over here, I've actually got my first film that I worked on here 2.5 years ago, last day of school. The lovely ladies, and some behind the scenes pictures, kind of smaller ones you'll see. For the most part, a lot of the pictures are kind of from various scattered short films and feature films that I've been doing in Vegas for 2.5 years. In total, by the end of last year, I completed 40 films, short films, features, not including commercials. And that all was, for the most part, captured in this entire hallway. It's a lot of memories. And you're thinking, yeah, I could put that all in the scrapbook. But how often do you look at scrapbooks? I mean, coming up here down this hallway and up and down the staircase, I get the chance to enjoy these memories and remember and think back of the fun times. Even some more extra shots again from the last day of school, and I got a chance to work with director Kurt Ralph on one of my earlier commercials. He was actually in the original Evil Dead movie. He played Headless Linda, Fake Shemp, they actually called him. And then Rolf Konevsky, who ended up writing the screenplay to The Last Day of School. I got a chance to work with a couple of feature projects of his, including Party Bus to Hell, Sunset Society, which hopefully you guys will get a chance to see this year in 2018. That was one of the last films that Lemmy from Motorhead was involved in. So, one of my first short films too, Hush. Actually ended up working on Hush, was one of my first films, and ended up getting accepted into 12 film festivals, about 12. But that one actually gave me a really cool chance to work around all of Nevada, not just Vegas. That was really exciting. Rebecca Reyes was my co-star in that film, and it was completely silent. I had to grow a beard, which I honestly had never grown a beard before. That plus working a day job that doesn't really allow facial hair, that was a little on the tricky side. But you know, I was up for the challenge. I gave it my all, and certainly had a lot of great memories to take along with it. I even actually got the prop gun, which I got to keep. Now it's not real, but it's actually a really cool, pretty piece of artillery, of course. If there ever happens to be a home invasion, I'm prepared. At least, so I think. Whoa, okay guys, we don't need to see anything over here. Turn the spotlight off on that one. I mean, Naked Boy Singing was a crazy, wild show that I honestly had no idea what the show even was. I knew it was paying really well. It was here in Vegas and gave me the chance to be able to sing and perform. But what I didn't realize in doing that show, that production would be what led me to my biggest theatrical stage production break in Las Vegas. And that was Evil Dead, the musical. And that show actually started about over 5 years ago at the Onyx Theater in Las Vegas in Commercial Center. Now I auditioned for that show with no inkling or planning of going for the lead role, Ash, played by Bruce Campbell in the series. So I ended up going for the supporting role instead for his best friend Scotty. Little did I know that the director already kind of had an idea that I should play Ash instead. So I ended up going to the audition, and I realized there's a lot of language in this show. And so I started kind of censoring myself. And then the director kind of noticed it. And then what did he do? He kind of talked to me and asked if I was comfortable in doing language, and I really wasn't too comfortable with the role after all. So he had me read for Ash. And again, already in his mind, he had me planned for that role. So I got a call back, and then I got a call. I was the last actor to get called for the role. And then from there, what started as a community stage show that ended up getting 2 runs, made its way to the Las Vegas Strip, the V Variety Theater in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada at Planet Hollywood. Now you actually see the posters here and props, pieces that were used in the musical, the anniversary show, which was actually back in 2016 in June, that I actually got to reprise my role. The original blade, which is actually made out of wood, and I happened to get autographed by the cast and crew of the show, and also one of the first posters from our V Variety Theater show when we first premiered there, also getting autographs from the cast and crew. Now this is actually one of the original pages too from the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, roughly translated Book of the Dead. What is it? Clatu Verata Nectar? I honestly can't read it. Now Bruce Campbell, this guy obviously, again as I mentioned, the one that originated the role, I got a chance to meet him at one of the Comic-Con festivals up in Salt Lake City. He wore blue, my favorite color. I decided to wear red instead. We got one of the programs too from the posters, or from the show itself. An original poster that a local Vegas artist ended up creating, Hear Evil, See Evil, Speak Evil. Now the fun part in working in this musical for years, about 3 years in Las Vegas, I got a chance to meet some fun celebrities, from Adrian Paul from Highlander, Linda Blair from The Exorcist, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Walking Dead actors, Kristen Bauer from True Blood, Once Upon a Time. Even got her to autograph the picture too as well. And again, the autograph from Bruce Campbell himself from Evil Dead, which a great friend and fan from the Evil Dead musical made me a scrapbook, which actually is and looks like a replica of the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. So you've actually got autograph from Bruce Campbell in there, and some fun, crazy pictures. My first published Las Vegas guide, entertainment guide. So I got some really fun pictures and memories in there too to be able to share. And this actually was a replica of the chainsaw that we ended up using in the show. This actually has a real blade. So obviously we didn't use a real blade in the show, we had a wooden blade instead. And then again, I started collecting a lot of the props, the bobbleheads, the figures of Ash, the eyeball itself that we ended up throwing out into the audience every once in a while. One of the co-actors too as well ended up making for Christmas an Aladdin Ash, an Alad Ash they call him. It's actually really funny too. They did the cuts and the scrapes just the way Bruce Campbell looked in the Evil Dead. I got such a kick out of that, and I loved Aladdin. Prince Ali is one of my favorite songs, and so as they knew that, they ended up making that for me for Christmas. Disney and Evil Dead. Who'd have thunk it? I don't know. Maybe Disney should acquire Evil Dead and, you know, make a movie or a cartoon series out of it. The coolest thing too as well in doing that Evil Dead musical was getting the reviews in the local publications from Anthony Duvall and Mike Weatherford in the Review Journal. Sadly, we lost Anthony Duvall. He was an awesome New York critic, fairly critical too as well when it came to theater, but one of the fun quotes that I'll mention from his article back in 2011 says, "Stobber is a tall, lean, attractive, ordinary guy who has the gift of being able to put the audience on his side. Stobber's efforts to stifle his crazy hand and his eventual severing of it makes for a masterful moment of physical comedy. There's not an ounce of fat in his performance," which I obviously worked out for the role too as well and got some pretty decent guns. They kind of, I guess, run out of bullets over the years, I guess you could say. And even Mike Weatherford from the Review Journal mentioned Stobber's transformation from meek S-Mar clerk to rip-shirped, blood-soaked chainsaw arm wise guy. Somewhere Campbell's smiling, and that's really the only opinion that counts. Again, really great feedback from the fans, from the critics, an amazing cast and crew of wonderful friends that I made over the years. But again, I had done theater for so long, my entire life, that I always had that inkling of working on film. And that's when, 2.5 years ago, I started working in film. from short films in the community to feature films, and all of this was just as simple as going online to Facebook. From groups like Las Vegas Gigs, Las Vegas Audition Notices, film jobs paid and unpaid, networking within the social circuit of this city. That's how I got my start. I never stopped. I kept talking and asking around what was filming next, how can I help, and leading the best impression. So over time I felt like I really wanted to start working on Hollywood. And so I started submitting on films and independent projects out in LA. My first short film I did was Bad Poetry, Cheap Beer. Now this actually was my first short film out in LA that I got the chance to travel across various locations and work on a story that had an LGBT focus on it and a unique relationship and a story that had a very impactful, powerful, yet very emotional ending to it. Rolf Konevsky, as I mentioned, he was the one that ended up writing The Last Day of School. And I also got the chance to work with him on Party Bus to Hell, which you guys will be seeing coming out in limited release theaters and DVD Blu-ray this year. Party Bus to Hell, or actually they switched it to Bus Party to Hell with Tara Reid. Should be a pretty fun one too. Now this is a really fun project I'm proud of here in Las Vegas too, The Immortal Wars. It's a working trilogy sci-fi action film based on a comic book series, The Vanquishers, from writer-director, costumer, visual effects artist, editor, cinematographer, every man, like a Robert Rodriguez type, Joe Lujan. Now this is actually one of the first posters that he ended up creating and designing. And there's me, you can kind of see right up there too, with Eric Roberts right next to me. Now granted, I didn't get the chance to work with him, or Tom Sizemore, or Bill Oberst Jr. in my scenes, but they were actually featured in the film. We focused and filmed that film a couple years ago. We recently wrapped the sequel this year, like in 2017, and then hopefully, depending on how the films do, we'll get the chance to conclude with the trilogy. Now the first film did get picked up by ITN Distribution, and it's going to be set for release this year in 2018. Another movie to look out for. And then again, here you've got some really fun behind the scenes characters. I played Atmo, who's kind of like he's a deviant. He's a fighter who has earth and water elements that he uses to control to protect himself. And I was really excited again to be able to work with Joe Lujan, as I got a chance to work with on a number of horror films, from Atelophobia and some 48-hour film projects. This guy is a Swiss Army knife. He can do anything and everything, and he has such an amazing imagination that I'm excited to see what unfolds for the final conclusion for the Immortal Wars saga. Oh, you guys are still with me. Gosh, it's gonna be a long tour. Well, this here is my pillow pet, Simba from The Lion King. Another great classic film that I grew up with as a kid, which kind of transitioned into the next room, the spare bedroom. And as we've seen, each room area has a different theme, so this one actually kind of stemmed from Simba here. I'm thinking, let's get a little African safari going on. I'm gonna take a quick nap, but feel free to come on and enjoy me. Woohoo! Ah. Oh, gosh. Sorry guys, I needed that quick power nap real quick. Ooh. So this room is my spare bedroom, which again, thanks to these guys, Tigger and Simba, I managed to create the ultimate safari. It's a bit of a jungle in here. We got some really cool pictures from Burlington Coat Factory and bamboo shoots. Kind of again, zebra and leopards and elephants and lions and tigers. No bears, oh my. These fans actually going to see there's two of them, which are really cool. Those actually took a piece of foam, styrofoam, it's like a green foam, and this dry grass normally you put inside a vase or a pot. And then we got some fun animals down below too, more giraffes, and the monkey's trying to take candy again. What is with this guy? He always ends up going after the bubble gum. I don't know what it is with him and candy. So that's pretty simple actually for the spare bedroom, but you know, I think I'm pretty awake now, so let's go ahead and head over to the next rooms. So follow me, guys. So we got another bathroom going on here, guys. I'm kind of noticing a pattern. That one was blue, the last one we were at, and this one's blue. There's fish, there's kind of under the sea life. So I think the bathrooms are kind of going for an under the sea vibe. Blue being my favorite colors, you can already tell. And at the same time loving Little Mermaid. That was one of the first Disney movies I saw. That was another huge inspiration of creating kind of a fun under the sea vibe and theme, from starfish and aquatic life, traveling to SeaWorld and the Cayman Islands, getting some fun little souvenirs and mementos as well. Plus again, a cool stingray from Atlantis. Pretty cut and dry, guys. So let's go ahead and head over to another huge favorite room of mine. If you guys love the living room, you are in for a treat. My gosh, are your feet killing you too, or is that just me? Or maybe it's actually the zombies nibbling at them. So this door, as you can already plainly clearly see, isn't just any door. It's a video game room door. So you got some really cool posters here. This one actually really kind of sums it all up. Get some. Nintendo. Classic systems, what I started playing with when I was a kid. And you got the rules, which obviously in any game room, there are no rules. So this is gonna be a really big fun room. I hope you guys are ready. Follow me in. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, guys. This is a game room. And yeah, this guy probably doesn't have a life and he has a lot of time on his hands. But I mean, come on, if you're gonna go all out on a game room, you may as well go all out. I mean, back when I was a kid, I worked at a movie theater and a video store, so I would collect all the movie posters and I would cover every single inch of wall space, not just wall, but ceiling, full of movie posters. Now granted, it was really warm during summer times, but it actually kept it warm during the winter times too. But I got that same inspiration when I made the game room. I was like, I wanted to cover every inch of space and feel like you were in a game room. I mean, a lot of these video game posters I either had collected, I ripped out of video game magazines too as well. The gumball machines I got from Craigslist. Now granted, those gumballs are looking kind of rancid, so you may not want to pop any quarters in there. It's more decoration now. But there was one real big thing I always wanted to have as a kid, and that was a pinball machine. Oh, shocker. Now the pinball machines themselves was something that I always had fun playing as a kid and wondered what it'd be like to actually own one. And my first one I got here in Las Vegas was Hook, the pinball machine, the movie starring Robin Williams. And eventually ended up trading up until I ended up with The Simpsons Pinball Party. Because face it, we're in Las Vegas, every day is a party. And then the other one over on the other side is the Shadow. Now this one actually has a really cool, unique play field with multi-levels and ramps. The movie was pretty fun, but for me again, it was finding a pinball machine that I could keep on playing every day and not get tired or bored of it. Again, getting back to the Minions and Halo and Disney and Nintendo and Terminator and a pachinko. Now a pachinko is kind of like a pinball, but it's something actually from, I believe in Tokyo, Japan, International, that actually would be like a slot machine where they can end up earning points and be able to trade in these silver balls for currency. At least that's what I'm thinking. You've got some really fun Nintendo classic Mario Brothers. That was my first system I played when I was a kid, the original NES. That kind of tells you a little how old I am. I'm never going to tell you. You'll have to find out. Oh, pinball machines got a life of their own again. See? The fun thing too, in addition to adding the posters, the video game systems, I've still got an Xbox 360. I know everybody's more about the Xbox One. I still like the games on here. Connect, get a good workout going on. The Nintendo Switch, DS, 3DS, and the Rayman's Raving Rabbids. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. And as you see, even underneath the pinball machines, you've got a lot of classic board games, Monopoly, Cranium, Lincoln Logs, Legos, Twister, Scrabble, Jeopardy, Jumanji. I mean, again, there's always going to be something really fun and cool to play with, no matter what kind of a day you're having or feeling. Whoa, I didn't even practice that. So you've got a lot of posters, but there's also something different. You've got comic books as well that I ended up actually attaching to the walls. So that way you actually have some reading material, something to actually be able to look over. Sonic the Hedgehog even right over here on the corner. So it's like you could actually be like standing and like, ooh, I want to find out how that adventure ends with Sonic. And again, it's something that just visually enhanced the wall, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I was going to use it as just a poster and keep it glued and stuck there, but then I'm thinking, why don't I just put the whole comic book up there? So maybe any comic book fans out there that love comics, and maybe they're not collector items, because these certainly aren't, most of them are free, but maybe hanging those up on the wall or something and just having a way of visually showcasing your work. And that's the thing, make a game room, your own game room, what you love. It could be video games, board games, arcade games, comic books, anything. That's what I did with this room. And again, as you can tell, looking all over the place, that there's something for everyone, and there's so much color and energy in this room that when you come here after a hard day of work, you can just let off some steam, play some video games, grab a 5-year-old gumball, carefully, and play some pinball machines and just let loose. Wow, this game room has way too much energy. I'm going to show you guys the last, but certainly not least, big room of the house, the master bedroom suite, which actually has 2 rooms connected to it, a bathroom and a creative room. So let's go check those out. Whew. That was some game room, wasn't it? But like I told you guys, now we are entering the final part of the house, and that's the master bedroom. Now, as you can kind of already see up here, you've got fall autumn leaves, you got kind of a fall feel to it. So if this is telling you it's a game room, I'm wondering what this might be telling us, that this room is going to be maybe fall theme, autumn. It's pretty close, but honestly, I didn't really quite have an outfit to wear other than my PJ onesies for this bedroom. I know. Pretty fluffy, ain't it? So being from Colorado, growing up there, that's home to me. So I wanted to create a master bedroom that was a feel of home. So I give you the master bedroom of Colorado. So as you can see, guys, this is yet again another wild, crazy, detailed room. And I love fall. I love winter. And granted, Vegas, we don't have a lot of either seasons. So what I ended up doing was I created both. So kind of like what you saw downstairs in the kitchen, I ended up taking fall autumn leaves, which I ended up finding at Hobby Lobby, and started stringing them up like vines all across the room. And then icicles and snowflakes, having those hanging up above too, so it's like it's snowing. And there's still fall autumn leaves as well. Being a fan, of course, of Colorado, I got a chance to find a lot of really cool items from bears and books and postcards that you're going to see throughout the room. And then even just kind of up here from antlers and more pictures. The mountains are calling and I must go. I am a huge mountain hiker. I was like a mountain goat. My parents would always tell me too, that I would be constantly climbing up dunes and mountains like no other. In fact, actually one of my favorite pictures up above here in the bedroom is a Colorado hiker. Now these, up above on the headboard of the bed, these are actual real fall autumn leaves that are just freeze-dried or dried out, also again from Hobby Lobby. Awesome store, they got a lot of great stuff. In fact, quite a bit of what I ended up finding in the house came from Hobby Lobby too. But these are actually manzanilla trees, sandblasted. I actually got from San Diego Floral, also located here in Las Vegas. My work job was the one that told me about it. So I hung up icicles, autumn leaves, birds, butterflies, whatever I could find to give this home an atmosphere, a feel of an actual wilderness or nature. And then over here, this was kind of a funny story too, with these slider, I guess you would almost kind of like blinds, you would call them. So these blinds are pretty much bare and simple. And I was thinking one day, I've got these autumn leaves, so I wanted to actually start gluing and attaching them to the blinds so you could actually kind of still open and close them. And this guy, obviously you probably ended up catching him when you first entered, this ginormous, enormous bear. This guy is my buddy Baloo, Baloo the Bear. He was actually an interesting story. I didn't get him. My parents actually got this for me for Christmas a few years ago. Being from Colorado, being a big fan of Colorado, of course, and creating this room, they thought there was one thing that was missing in this room, and that was this guy. So Baloo the Bear has been, I guess, kind of keeping the bed warm during the winter times. He's the ultimate cuddle buddy, aren't you, Baloo? He doesn't really talk much. So this here is the creative writing room. And as you can see, it's full of dragons and beasts and creatures constantly at odds, fighting each other left and right, up in the sky, in the air, on the ground, towards you guys. Whoa, 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 watch out. That was a close one. See, it takes a fun, goofy, silly, imaginative mind to have, again, such a room to be able to express yourself and to be able to write and to be able to come up with ideas. Obviously, Walt Disney had to have an office or a place to be able to come up with Disney parks and those films. So this is my creative writing room. And for me, quite simply, was giving it that fantasy kind of feel, atmosphere. From the glow-in-the-dark stars and constellations that you're going to see everywhere, up on the walls, the ceilings, the glittering lights, and the dragons themselves kind of at peace, but maybe at war. Or maybe they're in an intergalactic battle, and there's masquerade masks and renaissance and weapons. I got some really cool masks and weapons over here too as well, collecting over time. And even up here on the walls, from How to Train Your Dragon to mystical orbs and Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings and Alice in Wonderland, and even again the curtains too, which I found on Amazon that gave me the ability to be able to really complete the room and create something fun. The best part, you can't quite see it now, but at nighttime, these stars glow in the dark, so you can actually see real constellations like Orion's Belt, which is actually you've got the Little Dipper right up here, and you've got Orion's Belt. Orion's Belt is actually right over here. You can see more clearly again, as you do with normal stars, at nighttime. So this room really comes to life mostly at night. And then what I'm also most proud of too is my book collection. I mean, granted, I got a lot of movies, but I actually managed to narrow down quite a collection of film books. Now these also are from filmmaking, film acting, behind the scenes, managers, casting directors, agents, actors, taking both my passion and dream as an actor and having that ultimate library to really hone my craft as an actor, and at the same time to have my books on faith and following one's faith and path in life too. So you got books on film and you got books on faith. And I feel like, again, both of them are very important parts of my life, just as my family is too. So that's what this house was all about, is creating, again, a home that represents everything that I love, that I'm passionate about. And this room is certainly no different. Now I gotta use the restroom real quick, so you guys feel free to look around some more and I will catch you in a quick second. All right, see you in a bit. Come on in, the water is fine here in the master. Gosh, what is... Okay, maybe that was a little bit over the top, guys. So this is the ultimate master bathroom. The bathtub itself is, again, large enough to fit a couple people. The seashells, starfish, the bubbles. Now the bubbles you guys remember from downstairs in that smaller bathroom. This actually I started with first, and then I added those extra bubbles downstairs. They're actually glass bubbles hanging on fishing line and then attached by hooks up above in the ceiling, creating that depth and under the sea experience with the fish, the coral, the dry seaweed as well, kind of connecting everything together, creating that depth and just interactive, immersive under the sea experience. And that idea I actually got from a restaurant called Mix at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. They had glass bubbles hanging from the ceiling, kind of like you were dining in a glass of champagne, and I love that feel and atmosphere, so I decided to do the same thing myself. Now the shower, on the other hand, you've got like the fish stickers kind of on the outside, so it gives that feel like you're actually showering, swimming under the sea too. We've got more fish kind of hanging up above with a fish net. But if you want to check out the bathroom, take a quick glimpse, and I'll get that door open for you guys to check out the closet. Now the closet, you know, we're not going to go into full detail, but you're certainly going to see there's a lot of crazy costumes that you're going to end up seeing in here too as well. Stuff that I wear on an everyday to-day basis. I'm not a suit and tie fan, guys, but I certainly want clothes that express me, my personality, and so that gives you a little bit of a brief glimpse, but I think we're done here. So let's head back downstairs. I want to catch up with you guys some more. Well, guys, there you have it, the end of the tour, and I must say that was a long time coming, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. This night on the couch, day in the house, a day in the crazy house and life of me, Ben Stobber. You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook if you like, under Ben Stobber. Share with me what you guys do, what your art is in life, how you guys express yourself. I'd love to see that. And again, the whole purpose not only is again of being able to remember this home, as I'm not going to have it forever, but the opportunity to inspire you guys to embrace your silliness, whoever you may be. I mean, you guys may be a bit of an oddball, a crazy nut like 626, or maybe you're a little bit more on the geeky, brainy, nerdy side like those Hogwarts students, or maybe you're a little bit of a bad, tough, rough guy like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, hero and a half shell. Or maybe, again, you're a bit of a softie with a little bit of a sweet spot for some sweets every now and then. A youthful, young at heart type. Or you may also, again, be one who's always prone for adventure and somebody who, again, lives life and embraces life, but maybe going too fast. Or you may be a one in a million, or one in a million, I guess, and feel like that you don't have a voice, that you don't have a place or a purpose in this world, that it's enough to drive you pretty crazy, right? Again, we all wear multiple hats in this world, and I know I'm that goofball, kid at heart, young at heart type. The house, the home represents you. What you wear, how you talk, how you act, who you are as a person can mean so much to others. A bit of kindness, a smile, a hello, and even inviting people into your home, which I hope in inviting you guys to be able to check my house out, you got the chance to see a little bit more about me, and hopefully excited to see what the future is ahead. So I leave it with you guys in hopes of giving a little bit of inspiration, motivation to find that artistic, imaginative side of you, to express yourself in whatever way possible. Don't blend in with the crowd when you were born to stand out. That's what we're here on this earth to do, is to stand out and be unique, to be special, to be you. So find that character, find that person that you are, that voice, that character, no matter how goofy it may be. So find your dream out there, guys. Live your passion. Walt Disney actually said it best too, another one of my favorite quotes. Grow wise, grow strong, but never grow up. We were born with a dream and a passion in our hearts and souls and minds. So find that dream. Maybe you've forgotten it, but find it. Live that path, that destiny that you were made for. I'm Ben Stobber, and I can't wait to see what you goofs out there are made of. Live your life, live it well, but most importantly, live.